Alright, hello everybody. Welcome. We have another episode of World of Tanks here today. I'm your host, TedTokez, here with yous again. This time not being toxic, so you may appreciate that. I know occasionally I am. Also, I want to apologize. The last episode I uploaded and I had muted the video of the game so that I could hear my voiceover as I was editing it more clearly. And I forgot to turn on the volume of the visual clip that I had in the editing software. So the actual gameplay was muted. So I apologize about that. We're gonna re-upload that video tonight. That was Wednesday's video. That was June's, I think, first video. I'm not sure. And anyways, we're gonna re-upload that. So if you did watch that video and it felt off because there was no game sound and voiceover, obviously I realize my headset's not the best. So maybe I will invest into an actual microphone for doing these down the road. However, for now, for me, the headset's working just fine. And, anyways, let's get into it. We're here in the Leopard 2A5 again. We're playing the front line. We made a west one line push towards the objective because there's an objective, not only just the standard objective of destroy all enemy tanks. This time, in this match, we have to capture an objective base. That base objective is currently down in H3, so we have to get all the way down there to that southwest section of the map in order to make an impact on that. As you can see, the enemies have the objective surrounded. You got 3 enemies north of the base, you got 3 enemies south of the base, you have about probably 3 or more enemies east of the base, and then you have like 5, 6 tanks in the center of the map, probably. That's how they kind of position themselves. We've taken out most of the 1 line to 4 line defense. Now we just have to get rid of a couple more tanks and we can loop back around towards the objective and either go towards them tanks between me and that light tank, or we can go towards them tanks over here, which is probably what I'm going to do. And I'm not just saying that because I see myself doing it. The realistic choice that probably influenced that choice for me to go east and not north was the fact that I didn't want to help that light tank after cheating the team the whole game. I did not want to help that light tank get any more points by helping that other tank that was scouting for it just north of the base. Didn't want to help that tank have a chance to create opportunity for that light tank who wasn't even earning the opportunities it was taking. So I went east to take on tanks that actually wanted to battle. I'm not going to go take on a tank that wants to battle so that Overwatch can get free shots. I'm not going to do it, especially at that point in the match. They play like that to pretend to be better than players. I'm not going to help them be better than players that they're definitely not even as good as. If they want to show that they're good at the game, they will. If they want to show that they need people to play the game for them to even do good, they will. Right? This isn't something that's like, oh, I see you on the front line, so I'm gonna say you're playing the game for them. No. You could do absolutely worse than Overwatch could on the front line with your level of participation. See, the impact is not what's important to the participation. Right? You don't have to make an impact to be participating. There's many players in many sports who are just on the bench to take up to relieve the team. They don't even have to get points. They're not much of point getters. They're not there to get points. They're there to help other players continue to get points. That's the good thing about a good frontline player over a good Overwatch player. A good frontline player is going to help both of you get points. A good Overwatch player is only going to help both of you be able to get points when the Overwatch can actually get points. And a lot of times, if you play frontline, you'll know you're not going to get support as much as you think you are from Overwatch. Why? because a lot of their shots will no longer even have, they will not have the angles to take shots. If you're on the front line and you push, say you push as far as you can, okay? Maybe you don't push at all. Maybe you push just enough to be ahead of your Overwatch. But guess what happens when the enemies find you, right? No matter if you find the enemies or if the enemies find you, guess what? At some point in the map, between your spawn point and the enemy spawn point, you're going to run into each other, correct? Okay, so whenever you get to that point, if Overwatch is only able to see the part of their push that's after the approach, like say both of our front lines got to push around a boulder like we do right now. See this big rock to my right? Overwatch can't help with that. Why? Because they got a hill to their side. They got this rock in the way to anyone just exactly north of this position. So we weren't going to get any genuine Overwatch support right there. Why? Because Overwatch didn't have a shot until it was too late for the front line. That's why front line, even in failures, is still ultimately always helping the team. Even if it didn't help much, it still helped the team. Overwatch, you could have a good game and still not help the team. Alright, that's the reality of it. You can see it right here. We've pretty much defeated most of the tanks in this 9-line push. Most of the enemies were eliminated because of the team that was pushing on the side of the map beside me, right? It wasn't this 1 to 7 line that beat anybody. They've been sitting there fighting the same 3 tanks that they've been fighting all game. The team that made this outcome was the team that went east and then south down the 9 line. These players right here that are the only emblems lit up on the map, those are clearly the players who had people playing the game for them. Those are players so far outside of the actual activity of the match that they still had to traverse a fast-forwarded 20 seconds. We're at 300%, so that it means it took them a full minute to get back into the fucking situation. Ah, yeah, there was only 3 or 4 tanks left, right? They had to go find them. It was gonna take a moment, maybe. No, these fucking tanks have been in the same spot since we failed at trying to eliminate them after eliminating a bunch of other teammates that those players abused on the enemy team, right? So not only did they get to abuse their team to beat the part of our team that was actually winning the game for our team, now they have genuine chances. Like maybe not this time, as we can see it turned into 5v1, right? However, but you know, as you can see, like we'll take a look at this rewards board as we scroll through. There's really not much going on, you know? Everybody did the same except for that one guy who got 11,000 damage but only had, you know, didn't have any assist with it. Didn't even have 2,000 assists. How do you not have 2,000 assists when you have 11,000 damage? That means, listen, buddy, you're just not a good player if that's your normal outcomes. You might be good at getting damage, whether you want to admit it's your team getting you that damage or not. You're still not doing that good. Oops. Alright, my fault. We're back at it though. Look at this. We can see some of the enemy trying to make a play. You can see some of the team definitely not even playing. Look, no offense, but if you have 10 tanks hiding in the 1 to 4 line north of this south city in this map, you lost. Alright? Like, this isn't a matter of, oh, but what if they swing it in their favor over the course of time? No, you still lost, even if you won. You know, you want to know why? Because by the end of a match like this, even if, you know, let's say it's not just 3 to 5. Let's say it's exactly 5, right? Let's say there's probably the most amount of players, actual participants in the match this time, right? Now, how much do you think those 5 tanks are going to win the game for everybody else when they play like that? This entire North team from the heavy in A3 down to the squad in D1 over to the few tanks in D5. They are all going to die immediately. That there is a group of heavies pushing that side of the map. And if you ask me, it doesn't appear that they're pushing south to influence the impact I'm making against their 8 tanks down here at the center of the base. Now, obviously, you would think 1v6 will say, maybe, you know, let's not act like we're fighting 8 barrels, but let's say we're in a 1v4, a solid 1v4 down here at this enemy objective, right? That's still almost half of the enemy team's entirety. So you tell me how I'm supposed to believe that 9 tanks around the map are actually being effective, okay? When I had no support this whole match except for a few tanks out of the 15, I'm not going to sit here and consider all 15 players participants. I don't... look, listen up, kiddos. Here's the thing. I know some of you think you're grown and you couldn't learn a damn thing from someone like me, but here's the thing. The more you play like a loser, the more you're going to be a loser, even in winning matches. So, you know, do what you want with that information. There's people who are going to win and still lose, and there are people who are going to lose and still win. Why? Because it's the amount of effort that you put in, right? Somebody doing what I'm doing right now, right? Getting 5,000 deflection, getting 3,400 damage, right? Not a super great game, not a bad game. It's definitely, at least, at the very least, a good game, right? However, I'm not going to sit here and act like it was a great game. Why? Because a lot of what I was doing there was just what I could do. There wasn't a lot of team-based operating going on, right? Like right now, we got a few tanks making some rotation, you know, but it's already a 3v1, you know? It's not like it's a 1v1 or a 1v3 and I managed, you know what I mean? That's why I say 10,000 damage as frontline is far superior to 10,000 damage as Overwatch. Why? Because the 10,000 damage on frontline probably saved our team from health. Probably saved our team's health. 10,000 damage as Overwatch, well, they probably charged us our team health for them to get their damage, their enemy damage, right? And that's not fair. That's one, it shows your actual inability to play the game, and two, it shows that even if you do good, you didn't do good. The team allowed you to do as good as you did, and you screwed everybody else's chances of doing as good as they could have did out. You screwed them out of that chance, right? Because nobody wants to play as a team. There's no team assist anymore, right? And it's not entirely hard to get assist. You look at a tank that someone's shooting. If you got the spot, you'll probably get some assist for that. You track a tank. Track them in an exposed location. Guess what? You're probably going to get assist for that if someone else shoots them. Alright folks, but that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I know we didn't talk about the actual gameplay very much or battle tactics at all, but we'll get into that in future episodes if we can, and I'm sure I will if possible. But yeah, I hope all of you enjoyed. Thank you.